Welcome to Tai Chi, Meditation in Motion. I know things have definitely been interesting lately, haven't they? And hopefully our scenic view here and a little bit of time doing some movement and some meditation will help us just center ourselves and enjoy the upcoming weekend. So I look so forward to working with you today. Let's go ahead and begin. So to warm up, let's go ahead and begin with our Tai Chi run. I'm going to back up just a little bit so you can see my legs as well. And what you can see is happening is my hips are kind of throwing my feet forward. My waist is kind of just turning just a little bit to give them some momentum. Okay, so my feet are being thrown forward and then they're being pulled back. Now you go ahead wherever you are. Right? Maybe you're standing, maybe you're sitting, maybe you're in your living room. Wherever you are, you go ahead and just keep facing the same direction, but I'm going to turn to the side. And what you can see is that my waist is throwing my arms forward and my waist is helping throw my feet forward. If you're sitting, just go ahead and focus on that motion of your arms. Now the first thing that we want to do as we do our practice is let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Just take a deep breath, breathing in. Let your belly come out as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, go ahead and breathe down, right? Breathing down, like imagining that air traveling down through your body, out through the ground. Let's do that again. Breathing in, and then breathing down. Good. Let's keep our focus on our breathing. Excellent work. All right, good. So we're gonna stand for a moment, finding our feet directly beneath our shoulders. Go ahead and take your hands, place them under your belly button. Now that we're a little warm, we're gonna take a moment with our breathing. Let's do that box breathing again. This time when we breathe in, we can feel our belly come out, right? That's a key component of that Tai Chi breathing. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out and down, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Let's go ahead and continue just to loosen ourselves up a little bit. So relaxing in our stance, thinking nothing of our legs, we're going to go ahead and let our head just fall forward. Take a deep breath in, letting your belly relax and letting your head roll to the left, across your shoulders but not back, right? Being careful about compressing our spine and then letting it roll forward again. We'll give ourselves a few rotations like this. Take a deep breath in, breathing in, and then breathing out and down. Very nice. If we can, let's go ahead and connect when we change directions to our breathing. So we'll breathe in, and then as we breathe out, switch directions. Breathing out. Very nice. Just letting ourselves relax. Very good. Let's go ahead and rotate our shoulders forward. Check in with your belly. Has it tightened up just from that one little change? Let it come out as you breathe in. Good. This time when we switch directions, when we breathe out, we'll go ahead and connect those motions. Taking a deep breath in and breathe out. Very nice. Excellent. Very good. Good. Let's go ahead and bring our right foot back, keeping it on the point of the toe. Take our right fist, place it against our left palm, and rotate. Excellent. Now, check in with your belly. Has it tightened up? Has that belly tightened up? Go ahead and let it relax. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, let's switch direction. Very nice. Good. Let's switch sides. Rotating our wrist and rotating our foot. Notice that I try not to move my arm around. Really, I'm trying to get that wrist to relax. As we take a deep breath in, we'll breathe out and switch direction. Excellent work. Being mindful of our belly, take a deep breath in. Breathe out and down. Good, let's take another moment to count as we breathe. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Holding that breath. 2, 3, 4. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Very nice. So now let's go ahead and do some exercises to focus on turning at the waist, right? The idea behind much of our Tai Chi and Qigong meditation is that the body's all literally physically one thing, right? Nothing particularly surprising about that particular realization, but we kind of tend to treat it like it's different parts instead that work very independently. But really, it's just one thing. And so when I move my arms, I'll turn my waist. Right? And it's literally my arm motion that lets my waist, it's literally my waist motion that moves that arm, right? Almost like I'm flinging the arm by turning the waist. Same thing with my legs. So let's go ahead and begin by moving in a way that'll help us practice that, right? So we'll find our feet directly underneath our shoulders, letting ourselves relax as if we're seated there at the edge of a stool, thinking nothing of our legs. Let's go ahead and turn at our waist, stretching out our obliques a bit. Very nice. So notice that my knees are staying forward like they're a car headlights, and my nose stays here in line with my breastbone. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, let's deepen that stretch. Very nice. Breathing in, letting ourselves come back forward as we breathe out. Good. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Breathing in. As we breathe out, turning at the waist, right? Keeping to check to make sure that my nose is in line with my breastbone. I'm not making my shoulders awkward. I'm letting them stay relaxed, letting my arms just dangle at my side. My knees are still largely facing forward. Let's take a deep breath. And as we breathe out, we'll deepen that stretch. Excellent work. Very good. Breathing in and breathing out, letting ourselves fall back forward. Good. So now using that same point of motion, right, that same axis of turning, we're going to go ahead and just let our arms kind of rotate. Good. Just kind of letting our arms fall as they need. Just turning them as we, not really even thinking about the arms, just turning the waist, and so the arms go ahead and fly out. The arms go ahead and fly around, right? They just move as they need to move. And so let's take in a deep breath, breathing in, and then breathing out and down, letting the knees soften. Good. Let's take another deep breath, breathing in. Maybe even hold that breath for a moment. And then breathing out and down. Imagining the air traveling down through our body, out and dissipating through the ground. Very nice, very nice. So now we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and deepen that, right? So we're gonna deepen that even more. so that my arms are now flying even further, right? They're moving even farther around, so that as I turn my waist, there's the transfer of energy from my waist to my arms. Now notice that my knees aren't really moving much at all, right? There's very little motion in terms of my knees, right? The vast majority of the motion is actually coming from my waist, actually coming from that waist turn, that transfer of energy from the waist all the way down through my hands. I'm keeping my shoulders relaxed. Everything here is relaxed. I'm kind of just letting my hands even just kind of hit my waist. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring my arms up. Let's go ahead and bring our arms up into a T position. Trying maintaining just rotating at the waist, letting my nose just stay there kind of stacked in line with my breastbone. Take a deep breath in. Has your belly tightened up? Breathe in. Let the belly relax and then breathe out and down through your body, through the ground, letting that tension dissipate. Very nice. Let's go ahead and do that again. Taking a deep breath in and then breathing out and down, letting any tension dissipate. Notice that my hands are staying actually pretty loose here, right? A key component of Tai Chi is letting the parts of the body just be relaxed, right? That we're using the waist as kind of the engine of our turn, and everything else is staying relaxed. Very nice. Take one more deep breath. Breathing in and out and down. Very good. So we're going to continue with that same idea, but this time we're going to go ahead and turn the whole way around. If I'm seated, I'll turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn, and we'll start using our box breathing and connecting it to our breathing, right? And wherever that point is for you, hold that for a moment, and then as you breathe out, turn and turn all the way to the other side, right? Trying to not let the lower half of your body do too much of the work there, right? You don't want to do anything awkward to your knees. If, on the other hand, you're standing, right, you'll widen your stance, let your arms out, but relax. You'll turn at the waist, turn at the waist, turn at the waist, and then when the leg needs to bend, it'll kind of bend naturally. And you'll find yourself here, kind of in this stance. If you want to give yourself a little bit more exercise, right, you can widen it. Be careful about lowering the knee too much, right? You don't want to overextend it in a way that could hurt yourself. One key thing though is try not to lean one way or the other kind of too much. Just try and keep everything in alignment here. Okay, very good. So let's go ahead and do that together. Right, turning at the waist, turning at the waist, turning at the waist. Good. Now let's go ahead and turn at the waist all the way around to the other side. Excellent, right? Well, it's not as tough as it looks. So now we're going to go ahead and breathe in, breathing in. Hold the breath just for a moment, and now breathing out. Good. Try and let your breathing be the cause of your motion here. Breathing in, holding the breath, breathing out and down. Very nice. Letting our shoulders relax. Good. Rotating our legs a little bit. So let's go ahead and do some exercises that are going to focus specifically on connecting breathing to motion. These are great exercises for once you're comfortable with them, closing your eyes, not worrying about me, unless, if you enjoy the little bit of nature that we have behind my apartment complex, you can enjoy that. But I definitely recommend taking a moment to just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. So let's go ahead and begin. If you're standing, go ahead and bring your right foot behind you. You'll let your arms fall back like this. If you're sitting, just focus on the arm motion. Excellent. Breathing in and breathing out. So notice what's happening here as I breathe in, my right leg bends. My left one never straightens entirely. It still has a little bit of a bend in it. And that left toe comes up. And then I breathe out. I don't extend the arms. As I breathe out, the arms follow with my torso. And then as I breathe in and pull back, right, my shoulder moves, then my upper arm, my forearm, right? Like as if you were, say there's a rope coiled on the ground and you pull on one end of the rope, right? The whole thing doesn't move, right? It kind of uncoils. So you can imagine your arms kind of like that. They're here, right? Notice they're here, they're still kind of bent. And then as I pull back, this is like pulling on one end. We stretch that rope out. So let's do that together. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Good. Let's focus on letting that belly relax and breathing now down. Let's breathe in and down. In and down. In and down. In and down. If you're looking for a little bit more exercise, get lower in that stance, widen that stance a bit. Breathing in, down, in, and down. Let's deepen it, slowing ourselves. Maybe closing our eyes, focusing on our breathing. You can move at whatever speed you want. Your practice, your rules. Let's give ourselves one more. Very nice. Using our waist to draw that right foot back, turning our waist to bring the left back. We're now going to focus on the left side of our body. If you're seated, you might be like, well, what's the difference? It's my arms moving. How do I think about it different? I like to think about it in terms of focusing on breathing on the right side and then breathing on the left, focusing on just kind of like the feeling of the breath in one nostril and the feeling of then breath on the other, on the left side. And that's very focusing. Breathing in and out. And that kind of focus, in fact, can kind of help reduce anxiety, right? That feeling of tension. Just like feeling what it feels like to breathe through one nostril. Breathing in and down. Very good. Maybe closing your eyes once you feel comfortable with your breath, right? Not worrying about anything else, just breathing, breathing in and out. Remembering to let the arms do very little work here. They're just kind of being drawn along. If you're wanting to give yourself a little bit more exercise, widening that stance, breathing in and down. Let's go ahead and slow that down. Taking deeper breaths, remembering to let the belly come out as we breathe in. Breathing in and down. Oh. Like I said, slippery grass today. Breathing in and down. Very widening our stance. Closing our eyes, just focusing on our breath. Also helps that way. You won't see me if I fall over. Let's give ourselves one more. Very nice. Using our waist to draw that left foot forward, turning our waist to bring the right back, letting our arms find themselves low, breathing in and down. I really like this exercise because it helps me focus on the feeling of breathing down. Try not to think about your arms. Think about your breathing here. The arms will actually move very naturally. Notice that my hands just kind of dangle as I bring my shoulders up. Is your belly tighten? Let it relax. Let it come out as you breathe in. Breathing in and down. Breathing in Maybe closing your eyes and just focusing on your breathing. Deepening it. Giving ourselves a few deeper breaths. Let's give ourselves 2 more. Breathing in and down. Breathing in and down. Very nice. Using our waist to draw that right foot forward, turning our waist to bring the left back. Focusing now on breathing through the left side. Breathing through that left nostril. Remember, let the tension in your arms relax. Try to imagine that it is in fact actually the act of breathing that moves the arms. Breathing in and down. Breathing in. And down. In. And down. Slowing ourselves down. Letting ourselves take deeper breaths. Closing our eyes, focusing on the feeling of breathing. Let's give ourselves 3 more. Excuse me, 2 more. 1 and 2. Very nice. Using our waist to draw our left foot forward, turning our waist to bring our right back, letting our arms fall forward, breathing in and down. Very good. Now for this exercise, I should make sure to mention that I want to actually let my chest stay relaxed. Sometimes people treat this exercise like they're doing butterflies, right? Like they have weights and they go, no. No tension here. What really happens is I breathe in, and because I move back, my arms are being thrown back, right? And then when I breathe out, since I'm breathing down, it actually causes my chest to kind of cave in a little bit, which moves my arms forward. So let's go ahead and try it like that. Breathing in and down. Breathing in and down. In and down. In and down, in. Letting yourself breathe at your own speed, maybe deepening our breath. Just focusing on the feeling of breathing, slowing it down. Let's give ourselves 3 more. Very nice. Using our waist to draw our right foot forward, turning our waist to bring the left back, letting our arms fall back behind us. Notice that my hands stay loose here. They're really only moving because my arms are drawing them along. They're kind of always the last thing to move. And it's like, oh, I'm going back. Oh, I'm being drawn back. Oh, I'm going forward. Now I'm being drawn forward. Breathing in and out. Letting our belly relax and breathing down. Maybe we close our eyes. Deepening in our breath. Slowing it down. Let's give ourselves 3 more. Very nice. Using our waist to draw that left foot forward, let's go ahead and rotate our legs out. You've done good work. If you've been focusing on being seated, you're gonna give yourself a little wiggle. Your arms have done good work. Let those shoulders relax. Very nice. So now we're gonna do some exercises that are gonna focus primarily on the top half of the body and Qigong meditation. So if you can, really just focus on your breathing here. The first exercise is gonna turn at the waist, so try not to use your knees for this, right? Really try and turn here the way we were earlier. And then the next exercise will be kind of front and back. And that's a great exercise for when you breathe in, letting it arch your back, and then you breathe down, and it lets you kind of come forward. So let's begin with the first one, drawing the bow, widening our stance, softening our knees as if we're seated there at the edge of a stool, finding our feet kind of directly underneath our shoulders. Let's go ahead and breathe in, letting our hands be drawn up as our belly comes out. When we breathe down, we'll turn at that waist, turning to the left, and just let our hands kind of be drawn naturally apart. Now, when I breathe back in, I'll start to turn my waist forward again, and it'll draw that left hand back front. And then I breathe down. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Breathing in. Turning at the waist, letting that draw my hands apart. Drawing the bow. Breathing in. Letting that right hand just kind of be pulled along behind the rest of the arm. And then breathing out and down. Very nice. Let's do that a few times. Move back front. Breathing out and down. Now I'd like to encourage you to do this a few times once you're comfortable with your eyes closed, moving at your own speed, the speed of your own breath, and focusing on your breathing. Perhaps you'll focus on the feeling of breathing through your nose, or the air traveling through your throat. I like to focus on the feeling of the air passing over my fingertips, just to kind of focus meditation on that specific feeling. And when other thoughts intrude, just letting them continue to travel by. They invite me onto their thought train, their train of thought, if you will. And I say thank you, but no. And I let them travel on their way. Bringing my attention back to the feeling of the breeze or the air on my fingertips. So let's just take a few moments just with our breathing. give ourselves one more set. So the next exercise is again great for focusing on the feeling of letting our breathing cause our motion, which is something we want to include in kind of everything we do. When we first start, sometimes we have a tendency to kind of breathe with our motion. But we'd like to start hitting the point where I'm moving because I breathe, right? Breathing in and out, and that causes my arm to move, right? So this is a great exercise really just to focus on that feeling. So go ahead and find our feet directly underneath our shoulders, relaxing ourselves, letting our spine kind of stack here. Give ourselves a breath. Give yourself just a natural breath. And breathe again, letting your belly come out, breathing out and down. And we'll begin. Breathing in, letting our fingers intertwine. Breathing out and down. That's a great moment to practice feeling breathing down. Now we'll breathe in, let our belly come out. And as our belly comes out, let it arch our back. And when we arch far enough back, it'll cause our arms to fall. And then tightening our core, letting it draw our arms back down. Very nice. Let's do that a few times. Breathing in, breathing out and softening our stance, seated there at our stool. Breathing in, letting it throw our arms kind of back. And then tightening our core, breathing out and down. Very nice. Breathing in, softening our stance. Breathing in and out and down. Again, breathing in and down. Breathing in and down. Breathing in. Down. Let's give ourselves one more. At your own pace. Don't worry about me. This is your practice. Very nice. All right, so let's go ahead and just rotate our knees a little bit, rotate our shoulders a little bit, and let's go ahead and do some exercise that focuses on our balance. I really like the feeling of being able to trust myself in my balance, which I gotta say is especially treacherous here, kind of on this wet, uneven ground, but we're gonna give it a go. In my mind, part of being meditative and relaxed is not just the feeling of kind of being able to trust the world out there, because we never know what the world's gonna throw at us, but it's being able to trust my own response to that, right? That's the thing that theoretically I have some control over, how I respond to the world out there. And so really key here to being able to relax and de-stress is being able to trust myself. And I think balance exercises are really kind of a great way to do that. So if you're seated, go ahead and focus on letting each vertebrae of your back stack on top of the one beneath it, right? And trust that your head isn't just gonna fall all the way over. In other words, almost imagine that each vertebrae is stacked on top of the previous one. Like you have this long stack of plates out of like an old cartoon. And then you got like an orange on top of it, and that would be your head. And even as they move the plates around, you know, they kind of swirl a little bit, but they all still stay up and stacked. Let yourself feel that feeling. Right, it sways a little bit, the head rolls around a little bit, but it never really falls. Just breathing in, letting your belly come out as you breathe in and then out and down. It's very relaxing, just being able to kind of trust yourself. If you want to include your legs in this exercise, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll first find a safe spot, make sure there isn't anything around you that you might be too worried about falling on. Plant your left foot in the ground, let your left leg, I'll go ahead and back up a little bit so you can see my leg a little bit more. Let that left knee stay soft. And go ahead and just bring your weight onto that left leg. Let the right knee come up a little bit. And what I want you to do is notice that you can just tap the ground here if you lose your sense of balance. Oh, the ground's right there. It's not going anywhere. I'm okay. I'm safe. I can trust myself. And then what I want you to try and do, just from here, is go ahead and close your eyes. We'll just do that together. If you lose your sense of balance, oh, just drop that right toe. Letting each vertebrae stack on top of the one underneath it, letting the shoulders relax. Reminding ourselves that trees sway in the wind. It's okay if you're moving around a little bit, just trusting yourself. Take a deep breath in, and then breathe out and down through your left side. Maybe you bring your hands out, maybe you bring them to heart center or up. But key here, just trusting yourself. Let's give ourselves another moment with that. Good, go ahead and drop that right leg. Bring the left up. If you were on that left leg, go ahead and give yourself a little hug. Certainly a well-earned hug, right? Very good, very good. And as we continue through our practice, we might start bringing that into an expression of tree or something like that. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Again, if we're seated, really just focusing now on breathing on that right side and keeping those vertebrae stacked. Let's go ahead and find our right foot planted just comfortably on the ground, keeping that right knee just a little bit bent, bringing that left foot up just a little bit and letting yourself tap the ground with your toe. Good. We're safe. We're okay. We can trust ourselves. Now, go ahead, if you're comfortable, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out and down through your right side. Reminding yourself that trees sway, it's okay. And bring your hands out to heart center. If you want, even to an expression of tree. Whatever works for you. Bringing that bring that left leg down. Let's go ahead and bring the right leg up, giving ourselves a little hug. Very nice. This era of social distancing, right? That hug might be especially welcome. So, let's go ahead and take all of that together. Combine all of that together. We're going to go ahead and face our left, letting our right leg fall behind us. If we're seated, just turn to your left, letting our arms fall back, breathing out and down. We'll turn at the waist, letting these arms be drawn along behind us. We're not going to lead with the arms. We're just going to let the shoulders draw those arms behind us. I always like to imagine that you have one of those boats with the rope, and then you got the person on skis behind it. Well, when the boat turns, the person doesn't turn immediately, right? They turn at a certain point because they're being kind of drawn along by the rope. Well, the same thing happens with my arms here. My arms don't lead it. They're like that. My hands are like the guy holding on for dear life on the skis, right? Being drawn along behind. So we'll breathe in, out and down. Breathing in. Go ahead and keep breathing in. Keep breathing and breathe in even more deeply to the bottom of your lungs and out and down. Very nice. Breathing in. Keep breathing in all the way to the bottom of your lungs and breathe out. Very nice. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, all the way to the bottom of our lungs. And now let's do that just a few more times. Breathing in as deeply as we can. For more of a stretch, we might lower ourselves. Breathing in. Keep breathing in all the way to the bottom of your lungs. Let's do one more. Breathing in as deeply as we can. And out. Very nice. Very nice. Wiggling our feet back together. Let's go ahead and practice our forms a little bit. Now I'm going to move a little bit farther back. Try not to knock into my tree friend over here, who's been kind enough to provide a lot of shade today, which I appreciate. Got a little red last time. though I wore sunblock. Sunblock's very important. So we're going to practice our forms. We're going to go a little bit farther today, but the thing that I want you to remember is just breathe. That's all that really matters. That as you move, whatever motion you happen to be doing, perfect or not, because let's find perfection in the lack of it being perfect, right? The breathing and just connecting whatever motion we're doing is really what matters. I like to think of it like this. Tai Chi starts as a martial art, so there's a lot of motion, right? But most of us, hopefully, aren't going to be in a fight at any point in our lives. So the exact precision of that is less important to the things that we actually do every day. Well, what do we do every day? Breathe. That's something we all do. And what's something we all also experience every day? Probably some stress. So let's use that opportunity to use our breathing to reduce our stress, right? So we'll begin like this. If you have a little bit of space, great. If you're seated, right, you can do the same thing. We're just not going to be moving across the room. So finding ourselves with our feet together, letting ourselves relax, let's just give ourselves a moment to breathe. Just breathe however you need. These are your breaths. You don't owe them to anybody else. You don't owe this breath to anybody else. So to begin, we'll take a deep breath in and let that breath draw that left foot up. And then breathe out and down. Very nice. Now, if you're seated, breathing in. And out. Or you can combine both if you want. And it'll look like this. Breathing in. And breathing out and down. Good. Now next, from here, we'll breathe in. Let our hands come up shoulder height and breathe down. Excellent. Now we'll turn our waist, letting our left hand find itself underneath the right, drawing that left foot in, keeping ourselves low. Bring that left foot out, breathing out and down. Let's do that a few times. Bring the left hand in, right? And it's turning in because I'm turning my waist. And then I breathe out and down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Really try and minimize the idea of using your arms. The arms are really moving because you're turning your waist. Breathing in. And out. Notice my right hand finds itself low near that left knee. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Very nice. From here, we'll pull back, let that left toe come up, open the toe, and turning at the waist, let that right foot come around. Right hand is now, if you notice, my right hand is now going to be underneath my left, and I'm in the same position I was. Breathing in, turning at the waist, right, and letting that arm move because it's being drawn along here. Good. Let's do that a few times. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Notice I find my left hand low near my right knee. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Very nice. Pulling back, opening the right toe, turning at the waist, drawing that left foot around. Now here I am, holding the ball once again on that same side I started with. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Very nice. So I'm going to back up a little bit so that I can do more of the forms as I kind of travel a little bit farther down. So let's go ahead and begin. I'll make even closer friends with my tree friend here. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and down. We're going to just try and connect all of these together. Breathing in, letting the left hand come underneath the right and out. Let's do that one more time on this side. Even more deeply breathing out. Very nice. Pulling it back, opening the toe, letting the right hand find itself underneath the left, right? So you can see it over here. Breathing in and out. Let's do that one more time on this side. Breathing in and out. Very nice. Pulling back, opening the toe. Breathing in here and out. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little half step with the right foot. Let the weight find itself on the right. Almost all of my weight is on my right. My left hand is now near my right shoulder. Breathing in, and then I'm going to turn at the waist, breathing out. If you're seated, if you've been seated, that now means you're facing forward, right? Because what you want is your hips and your shoulders to be in alignment, right? So let's do that one more time. We take our half step, come back, so we're turning to our right, letting that right hand stay low, left hand is near my right shoulder. And then I'm gonna turn at the waist. And because I turn at the waist, it's gonna throw my arms up, breathing out, right? So let's do that one more time. Half step, coming back. Now, take a deep breath in, turn at the waist, and notice my left foot here is near my right ankle. Go ahead and hold that for a second. I'm gonna hop, so you can kind of see what I look like from here. Notice my arm isn't too forward, isn't too far back, just for our future practice. Lower is kind of a little bit better so that my left hand is near my left knee, and I'm relaxed. No big deal. I feel quite beautiful in that position. All right, so breathing out, relaxing. Let's go ahead and take a few moments to, sit and meditate. Right, we've done some good work today. Certainly earned some weekend time. It's funny, we used to perhaps think of weekend time as this is when I get to stay home. Now weekend time might be like where you go into your backyard. So let's go ahead and find ourselves in a seated position wherever happens to be comfortable for you. And if you want to lay down, that's fine. If you want to find yourself in a half lotus, that happens to be the posture that I like. But, pardon me, whatever works for you. This is your practice, your rules. Let's focus specifically on our breathing today. We've done a lot of work with our breathing, so let's go ahead and give it our attention. The one thing that I'm going to ask, whether you are seated or laying down, go ahead and take a minute to let your spine straighten without tension. If you're laying down, just go ahead and press your whole spine against the ground for a moment. If you're seated like I am, go ahead and let your shoulders find themselves directly kind of here in line with your hips. Letting each vertebrae stack on top of the one underneath it. Very nice. Let's just let ourselves breathe. Giving yourself a few natural breaths, just breathing as you need. Let's bring our attention to the feeling of the ground beneath us. Breathing in, letting our belly come out. As we breathe out, letting any tension drain from ourselves. Just let it dissipate out through the ground. Let's bring our attention to the top of our head. Let it relax. Letting our breath, as we breathe out, draw the tension out. Bring our attention to our forehead. Let it relax. Maybe let our eyebrows raise a little bit. Let them unfurrow. Breathing in, letting our eyes unfocus. Let them roll back into our heads. When we breathe out, let them roll even farther back. Drawing our attention down our jaw, letting our jaw relax, letting our tongue fall away from the roofs of our mouth. Breathe our attention down our neck, down our shoulders. Then breathing down through our arms, letting them relax, letting the tension just be drawn out, flowing out. Feeling our breath in our hands. Maybe taking a moment just to imagine breathing in and out through our hands. Drawing our attention down our spine, allowing it to relax. Allowing our waist to relax, our hips to open. Breathing out and down through the ground, through our chair, through our carpeting, whatever it happens to be. Let's take a few moments with some mindfulness meditation. Just connecting with our breath and letting any thoughts just travel on by. You might begin with the feeling of your breathing, wherever you happen to feel yourself breathe. Perhaps you feel it at your nose, or your throat, or your chest. Maybe you feel your breath at that point, that space in your forehead, kind of between your eyes. Or at the nape of your neck. Or even through your hands. Wherever it is, let's let ourselves just be present with our breathing. Breathing is a pretty amazing thing. It's one of the only things about us, if not the only, that can both be intentional and unintentional. And therefore, when we breathe, we are both doing the breathing and the thing that is breathed. And by that I mean it is both our choice to breathe, and yet is also a necessity that happens to us. We might think of that as the in and the out, or the yin and the yang. This idea that things that seem separate are really just one thing. bringing our attention back to the feeling of ourselves seated on the ground. Perhaps we allow ourselves a little bit of a half smile. So we take a deep breath in and out. We begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Maybe we turn our hands over. Touch each fingertip to our thumb, giving ourselves one word for each touch here to help guide us through our day. Whatever it is that you want to be your focus. Perhaps it is, I feel great compassion, or I believe in love. With that, I want to thank you for taking the time to practice and play Tai Chi with me today. You're busy. You have many things to do. I hope you can take a moment of gratitude to yourself for taking just some time to take care of you. To remind yourself that it's okay just to breathe and to be present with yourself. I appreciate your time. It's such a great gift. I love getting to spend this time with you. It's certainly the most relaxing part of my day. So with that, hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care, keep safe, and breathe deeply.